Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes, and this is Misfit.
And I'm Kel.
And we are here with our power rankings for the end of week 2, start of week 3. Well, it was a week. Let's just put it that way.
It was.
It was fucking Bizarro World Week in the Overwatch League. Some of it was, kind of, we kind of thought was going to happen, but you people don't buy into the Toronto Defiant, so, I'm going to keep honking on that train because I don't want to talk about my team. They got gifted a win because Boombox was out. And that last match that they played, well, what are we calling that? We calling that quick play? Them and Chengdu?
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
That aside, there was a lot of great matches. A lot of teams asserted themselves. A lot of teams made you scratch your head. Let's dive into it. All right, what do we want to do for our 20? I mean, we probably have the same bottom 4.
So, for our 20, I'm saying the Justice. For 19, Florida.
They're lucky to be there, in my mind.
Yeah. The way that they played...
That match was Buffalo and Jacksonville.
Oh, it was horrible.
Entertaining.
But, hey, that's still a team that has very good players. And then I think what moved them up was the discipline that they are at. So then at 18, I'm thinking Houston.
Yeah, either Houston or Chengdu.
Actually, yeah, let's put Chengdu there.
Yeah, the Outlaws had a tough schedule too, though. I mean, as much as I rail on them. Yeah. I mean, they played Vancouver, Toronto, and Hangzhou.
Right. Then I'm saying Houston at 17. Then.
Yeah.
Because honestly, even with their win that they had, I still can't feel good because they just got absolutely clobbered by New York. New York took advantage of every single weakness they did, and just that was a complete and utter slaughter.
That was the definition of easy clap.
Right, they just completely dismantled every single thing that Houston was trying to do.
Although I did like Jake losing his fucking mind. That was awesome.
Yes. I want to see more of that.
Yes. Get pissed off, dude. But that being said, man, I looked at the numbers. Fucking Raucus kind of almost owned Jonak. I don't know if Jonak didn't care.
He was probably focusing him pretty hard, but that's the thing is, by him focusing so hard on trying to kill Jonak, he wasn't there supporting his team, and they got fucking rolled. So no matter how good of any performance anyone really has, it doesn't matter because they got fucking rolled.
It didn't matter because Meko and Mono are 5 times the tanks that Muma and Spree or Muma and Coolmat are.
Yep.
I'm over the Muma is a great tank thing.
Yeah,
he's marginal.
Right. And at this point now, that is just not good enough.
No, not in this meta.
No.
I mean,
And it's just how many times do people say, oh, this is their meta? How many times do they say, what the fuck is their meta? That's what I want to know. Their
meta was the meta with Junkrat and Widowmaker.
Houston, that team is just so aggravating to me. I don't know what it is about. I was thinking about it at work while I was watching, and, I don't know what it is about the green-colored teams minus Vancouver. They just, both of them, I just don't like them. Even though the LA Valiant looked a lot better today, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will, but...
Yeah,
I mean...
So,
but this
Houston
week was...
17?
Yeah.
Alright. With Houston, the team, it's just so frustrating, and the green-colored teams, something about it just really irritates me with both of them.
Well, the Valiant are so LA.
Yes.
They're I said it last year. They're kind of hey, brah. Gonna play some Overwatch. Yeah, we won. You think about that, bro. And then it's oh, dude, we're on 3. Bummer.
We'll be good.
Well, it's there's no... I don't know. There's nothing that draws me to that team. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand if you're in the area. Obviously, yes, you're going to get drawn to the team.
But even the personality that they try to put out for them, I don't know.
Vanilla.
Yes, exactly. And then I dislike because they're the kind of in between. Because like the Houston, they just get annoying to me because of them like trying to be this whole family thing. And it's like I get it. That's a cool idea, but in concept, but it's just like when you're doing a professional league, it doesn't work that way, really. Like,
no, there's idiot brothers in the fucking family, by the way.
Right. Exactly. Like, you have to, it's a business, and you have to treat it like a business.
Well,
and it's just like, you can still build team chemistry, but you have to build it a different way than that.
Texas easy.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like, with the Valiant, like, they're kind of both, and it's very Lakers to me, and I think that's really what just bugs me, because, like, we're seeing it already with LeBron being in LA, like, oh, yeah, that's how the Lakers work, and it's just like, okay, in some ways it works, but in other ways it doesn't, especially now, because it's definitely gotten a lot worse.
They're much like the parent company of the Lakers. They're kind of like the parent company of Overwatch. They're more concerned about stockholders, i.e. the people the celebrities that come and sit for the Lakers. They're more concerned with that than the people that are actual fans.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going on a weird tangent.
Like, that's the whole thing. There's just something unlikable about both of those teams to me. And, like, I think also the popularity of Houston and just, like, I think that also turns me off from them, because, like, they almost remind me of the Cowboys. And their fans remind me of Cowboy fans, even though they're probably not Cowboy fans.
No, they're Texans fans, so disappointment all around.
Yeah, that's just all they know is disappointment.
First round losses, they pretty much know that.
They're the Bengals of the AFC South. So at 16,
actually they can't be, because the Bengals actually beat them in the playoffs one time. Oh no, wait, never mind. I take it back. It was the other way around. Sorry, Houston.
Yeah. The Bengals haven't won. The Browns have actually won a playoff game more recently than the Bengals.
That's fucked up.
I know, right? Because the last time the Browns won one was in 1991.
Yeah, and the year before. All right, yeah, that makes sense, because the year before the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, and that was the
last time.
God, what did you people in Ohio do to get your professional football cursed? Because goddamn, was it Sam Weish?
I think it's got to be the curse of Paul Brown or something, man. Like,
once
as soon as he died, like, Ohio got fucked.
It's like he made a pact with the devil, and once I die, they will never win another playoff game again.
Basically.
So you sure you're good with this deal, Paul? Yeah, I'm good. I'll be dead. I don't care.
I don't think never. I think it was like a certain amount of time, and then like, hey, who knows? Maybe Baker Mayfield's the other side of that.
Yeah,
he's the Antichrist or the Savior or something like that. But
as long as he doesn't get Carson Palmered.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Savior gets his knee blown out by the Steelers.
I'm not Catholic, but I'm going to do one of those things anyway, because God forbid.
You're going to be in church lighting fucking candles.
Right? Don't you put that evil on me. This is the first time I've had actual, real, tangible hope. And I can't let that happen.
I have Joe Flacco, so, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Going somewhere. Don't know
you
where.
guys have a Super Bowl, 3 of them? 3. Yeah.
We also have 5 losses, by the way. None of them were fun.
We have one of the greatest dynasties of all time. Too bad it was like 3/4 of a century ago.
Yeah, well, still good, though, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to this.
Yeah, so after that weird football tangent, that'll probably end up in a outtakes for later episode for our random football discussions, because we may as well do a football podcast as well.
Yeah. And just random bullshit from us talking about football.
Right. But, at 16, who did you have?
16, I had the Charge. I didn't...
Okay.
It was a...
I moved the Charge up quite a bit, honestly.
I just don't buy. because I don't buy into Dallas, even though I have them a little bit higher than I probably wanted to.
Honestly, it's not the Dallas game that changed my mind from them. And tonight actually further gave me evidence that that team is actually really fucking good. And that is going 3-2 against Vancouver and keeping it as close as it was. That was probably the match of the week.
Yeah, that was a fantastic match. Janu with the 4-kill.
Yep.
That was
Janu's
a clutch bomb.
Animal. He literally won them that game. But for Guangzhou to be as close as they were, I put them much more ahead.
I also buy into the stock that Vancouver kind of prepared for them, and we're putting all their eggs into the beat San Francisco basket, which seemed to work out. Yeah. So.
Actually, it's 16 for me. I put Boston.
Okay. I can see that. And that's totally viable. I had... 15. I had Dallas.
At 15?
Yeah.
That's where I put Shanghai, so I kind of have them reversed. But, because I have Dallas at 14.
I have Dallas there because I don't know what the fuck they are.
I know, right?
What are they?
That is the most confusing team. Like, to just get absolutely rolled by the Charge. I mean, like, they got
hammered,
crushed. But, like, the only time there was even, like, a hope of them winning a part of a map wasn't until the game was already over.
Yeah, and can we stop with Effect at this point? I love the guy, but...
Same. Like, I want nothing but the best for Effect, but you can't play him right now. You just can't do it because he's not good.
He's not good on Zarya.
Yeah. And AKM is a fucking beast on it, and it just, like... And it totally fucks with their chemistry when they're putting them in and out. And everyone else is like... Because, like, he and OGE have a really good chemistry with it. AKM's been a beast. And then when he switches to other characters, he's even better on those. Like, there's no reason for them to play Effect anymore.
I would play Effect in a DPS heavy meta, but he's too aggressive. When you play in this, you have to communicate so well when you play Goats.
Exactly.
That there's no way a guy like him... Like, I love Envy. There are times when I'm like, they're not communicating. We'll get to them later on. But, like, when they lost that match to Atlanta, you could see that they were baiting them into certain things. Atlanta was.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you've played with me enough. Guys bait me. And they were baiting Envy. He had a lot of kills and he did a lot of damage. Great fantasy numbers. But there were a lot of times where he got baited out. And I think that's what happens with Effect. And people know that.
Yes.
Especially when he plays Zarya.
But, like, that's the thing is...
AKM's
the
smart.
Difference. Yeah, AKM is smart, but then going back to the Envy Effect comparison, like, Envy is still...
He's
still smarter about it. Like, they know they can bait it out of him, but yeah, he knows when he can make those mistakes and it's not really going to hurt them. Versus, I mean, minus Atlanta, because Atlanta really exploited that. They did a fantastic job.
Atlanta exploits everything.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. They are the fucking troll team. We'll get to them too. But yeah, like, I'm with you. Like, so let's put, where do we want to put which team? I think Dallas they probably should be ahead of the Valiant just because the Valiant haven't won a game yet.
All right, yeah, I'll give you that. We'll do that.
Like, when Dallas is really good, they are
unstoppable.
Yeah, they're unstoppable.
Maybe their coach should concentrate on coaching the supports like he's supposed to, instead of memeing and trolling fucking DPS players from other teams.
Yeah.
I know it's all in fun, and I'm being a dick right now, but...
No, I'm kind of with you. And then also, like, it's not even what he's going on Twitter. It's when he's going on his stream, and he's, like, talking shit, and, like, trying to do all that stuff. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Like...
I learned a lot from his stream, but...
Oh, yeah, and I love watching his stream when he's actually, like, doing that stuff. But when he's, like, talking about his team and, like, going super in-depth, I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, everyone is watching this.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, some of you guys don't watch, a lot of you guys that listen to or watch our stuff, we're into sports. They call it, some of that stuff that he does is bulletin board material.
Yes.
In other words, much like Carpy said, okay, you're going to get beat by trash, but that didn't happen. But it's a back and forth where it's like you're focusing the other team, or you're giving them another reason to be more focused to play you, which you never want. Oh
yeah, for sure. And I mean, hey, they came out, they looked really good in that match against Philly for that reason. But it's just like you can't sacrifice your play in another game just so you can prove a point. You need to, you can't, that can't be your mentality. That is not sustainable for winning.
I think people underestimate. I don't think people know what to make of the charge. It's really what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Because I agree. They have really good players, and I think they're waiting for them to do the Chengdu wacky shit. Mm-hmm. But they're coming out and playing goats. See, I don't like the 3-3 term.
The casters started calling it goats this weekend, so it's officially goats. I don't care.
Yeah, well, and also, not to be this way, you're confusing people who don't play Overwatch, or they're trying to get in, because 3-3 can be anything, really. Yes, to us, 3-3 is 3 tanks, 3 supports. To someone that's new to Overwatch, it could be 3 tanks and 3 DPS. It could be 3 supports and 3 tanks. It can be 3 supports and... You see where I'm going? Just call it fucking goats and explain what goats is.
Yeah, it's just easier that way. So yeah, I say Dallas at 13, but let's talk about the Valiant. That's going to be our 4th place team, or 14th place team.
Yeah.
They are 0-3, but like I said it earlier, they are the best winless team in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like very pandering as that sounds. They really are.
When they're hot.
Yeah.
And like today's match, that was a great match, even though Toronto beat them 2-1. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were points on that match when I was watching it going, wow, this is unbelievable. The Valiant are so good, but they just, much like last year, they don't finish when they need to.
Yes. When it gets tight, they just can't pull it off. And that was also their undoing last year, is in the games that really weren't all that close, they won.
Yeah. But they were always winning 3-1, and then they would get down in map differential. When you got later down in the season, you're like, oh, they're 3 maps behind. They don't make the playoffs because instead of 4-0ing Florida, they 3-1. Or you know what I mean? Or instead of... Yeah, they just... Some of the little things, they just didn't finish.
Mm-hmm. They lose a lot of discipline there, and that's definitely still there. But that being said, Izayaki has been...
Fucking beast.
He's been a monster, and honestly, probably the only person deserving of any kind of comparison to Jonak. And he is Jonak very light at this point. He's fat-free, light. He's
Jonak. A football analogy. He's Derek Thomas to Lawrence Taylor.
Yes,
still
an incredibly good player.
Just not on God level yet.
Right, not the guy that took the league by storm MVP. I mean, that's just...
And he still does... That dude still does... I was watching him today.
Oh, my God. It's ridiculous.
Against the fun Texas teams.
Right.
But that was just ridiculous. And it's like you can't watch him with that stupid all access. I'm like, yeah, I want to watch everybody. I'm like, I have Jonak on. I'm like, no. Yeah. Texas, lol. New hashtag. Anyway, so back to the Valiant. I feel bad for the Valiant, too, because it's like, man, you guys are so close all the time. I think that's what annoys me about them more than anything.
Is they just cannot make that jump. Obviously, they had a really tough start. But honestly, how tough was it? Because now that we're seeing more of Hangzhou,
maybe instead of...
that team might not be as good as we thought. So it's that's why they're still down low, but if they can get some decisive wins, then I think they can really make a good jump.
Maybe if they put Custa in?
Yeah, and fucking keep him in?
That guy's a vocal leader, too. I mean, Kuki wasn't horrible.
Right, but even though Custa might not have the same, exact abilities and getting to give you
focus guy.
Certain things, Yeah, he is a guy that's going to bring your team together and do enough with his character to make a difference.
And
because he's not going to make the big flashy plays. Like, he is not like a Big Goose or anybody like that on Lucio, but he's serviceable enough in that role, and then everything else he brings to the table, you need that guy playing.
And honestly, at this point, do you need a God Lucio when you have a fantastic Zenyatta? You got a great main tank, you got a fantastic off tank, your DPS are, Kareev is great, Agilities is good enough.
You still got space.
You got space, that's what I meant. What did I say, super?
I think you said...
I said Fate and Envy.
I don't know exactly. You might have said that.
My normal bullshit.
Right, you got Fate and you got space. Like, they still have a very solid team.
But you need that voice.
Yes.
I mean, I would back a player that maybe has less numbers than somebody else, that is the voice, is a shot caller, is the, guys, let's go, let's focus, we got this, let's do this. I would put him in before I put in mechanical skilled God. And not that I'm calling kooky that by any fucking stretched imagination. It's just, with him in there, they're going to be better off. And the next couple of weeks, we'll see where, what happens.
Yeah, agreed. So let's move on to number 12. I had Hangzhou.
Yeah, I had the, I'm okay with Hangzhou there. They kind of disappointed this week. Mm-hmm. I had them at 11.
Hangzhou?
So, yeah.
Who'd you have at 12?
12, I had the Valiant. I had 13, I had the Dragons. We didn't even talk about them, for crying out loud.
Yeah, we did not.
Hey, the streak's over.
I had them lower. Yeah, okay.
Can we move on now?
Thank God. Right, like, it's over.
And I know people get mad at me because I'm like, it's a different team.
Yeah, it's a different team, but it still feels a little hollow because of what happened with fusions. I really don't think that should take it away as much. Yeah, well, I did see that they are talking about fixing that.
Okay, there's talking, and just fucking get rid of it.
Right.
For crying out loud. Why was it a thing anyway? If you bring the guy up, and, Nanzer's such a baseball fan, you bring a guy up from fucking AAA, and you sign them to the main roster, they're there. Until you say, no, they're going back down to the minors, or not. I know it's a different thing, kind of, with the way the season's working on it, but Christ, just if you get called up to the big team, you're on the big team.
Right, for as long as they need you.
They need him.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, Axiom wasn't terrible.
No, I'm thinking, they need Axiom playing, but playing the, like, Zarya and that kind of stuff, because he's actually been pretty solid.
Yeah. They need fusions, and, Shanghai looked good. And we've been saying this since they changed the roster, and especially since they got Gamsu. We saw what happened when they had Gamsu in there. Totally different team. When he is, like, in sync with the team. And they looked fantastic. And Luffy was great. I mean, they were just, like, guys that you're not expecting to be good. Mm-hmm. We're picking it up for them. And they finally got... and honestly, I really wish... The one thing I wish, and they didn't do it, on that last map after they won, I wish they fucking put Kaguri out there and just let her play. To be part of the fucking thing. I was kind of like, you know what? She had to suffer through the whole fucking bullshit of last year. And even, who was the other person? Dia. If they put both of them, just put both of them in that last map and let them, like, be on stage when they win. Because they had to suffer. The other guys weren't even fucking there.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it was great, and I like how everybody was into it and all that. But I was just like, I did the Tony Stark eye roll thing.
Right.
Okay, they won. Next week, let's go.
Yeah, I'm with you. So,
everybody's got to win in the league. Hooray. Even my team, which doesn't deserve one. Didn't even get into my madness with that. You were probably sick of getting texts of me from the number 19 team in the league. I mean, just to go back to that just for a quick second. Did any of you guys watch that, and did you know what the fuck was going on? Because I did not. And the most comical thing is watching Sideshow along with the broadcast, because he's streaming live, because he's not in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And every 2 seconds, what the fuck what is going on in this fucking match? And he's like, Florida's got this. Florida's got this. They got Busan. They got Saya player in there. They have him on fucking Soldier?
God, that was so, like, just watching that.
Are they letting...
What the hell are you doing?
Did they bring Kai in and just didn't tell anybody?
Yeah.
Seriously. Although Tavika and May was okay. Anyway.
Right.
Enough of that. Well, all right. So, enough talk of my madness. And so let's recap. We have at 20, we have Justice. At 19, we have the Florida Mayhem. 18, we have Chengdu. 17, we got Houston. 16, we decided on Boston. Yeah.
15, we went Shanghai. 14, I got the Valiant. We got the Valiant. 13, we got Dallas. 12. Oh wait, that's where you had Shanghai.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just can't put Shanghai above those teams because I'm just
I don't
not
know what
sure
to do
that
with those
they're going
teams.
to be. I don't know either. Like these middle teams are just like is a clusterfuck.
12 to 16 is just whatever you want to believe.
Right. But for me at 12, I had the Spark.
Yeah, they were so disappointing this week.
They really were.
And they looked, for as good as they looked last week, they were so out of sorts. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, they were, like, for as calculated and smart as they were last week, things like alt economy, stuff like that, like, just showing you, like, they were so good at, they were just terrible.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
even like
I don't know. It
alts
was so weird
and,
to watch that team. They were poorly managing their alt economy. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
Like Houston was just completely dismantled them.
Which I would be scared if that happened.
Yeah.
Even with their other match, it was just bad.
Yeah.
And then they come around in the last map.
Right. And it's just like, ugh.
Do they all of a sudden get like stage fright or something? I don't know. It's like they were a totally different team. I mean,
right. Like the way they looked last week is how they looked in the last map of each game this week. But like the first 3 maps of each game this week, they looked like they had no idea what was going on, and they could not get anything together. Nothing was landing. Their alts were all over the place. They just looked very
And in the fights that, you know, leading up to, like, you know, building up alts and all that, they were getting picked off. Whoever was playing, like, a couple of times, was it Godsby was playing Zarya? He got picked off and, like, had no ult charge, you know, and it was just bad stuff.
Right, like he wasn't even building up good charge, let alone alt charge either. So like he wasn't doing any damage on top of all of that.
Yeah, I mean he came around a little bit, but I don't know. They just were out of sorts. They were kind of what I thought they were going to be this week. What I thought they were going to be last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first week in the season, maybe they were kind of big-headed going in and they got caught off guard.
Could be. I definitely think that's possible. I think seeing how they rebound this next week is going to really decide, but the way that they played this week just really left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it left a big question mark for me.
It did.
It's I'm not buying them as a top 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe buy them as a top 10 team. I want to see more now.
Going up to number 11, this is a team that continues to surprise, and they're going to keep climbing up if they keep the play up that they put up this week, and that's the Guangzhou Charge.
Yeah. I gotta agree with that. I mean,
they looked really good against Dallas. Like we talked about it a little bit when we talked about Dallas, but just in general, this team looked fantastic.
Yeah, and they gave Vancouver all they could handle. I mean, Jianu had to have that 4-kill Diva Bomb to seal that last map.
Exactly. Like for it to take that much to beat Vancouver, or to take Vancouver as far as they did, let alone the dismantling of Dallas, like they looked fantastic this week. Eileen is a beast, but honestly, the player that really impressed me the most has been Rio. And you know, honestly, Chu and Hotba too. That whole team has been fucking fantastic. I mean,
I think that Chengdu team is so weird. You don't know what to expect when you play them.
Right.
And if you play into which Florida did, you play into we got to get rid of the wrecking ball, which I think it just throws everybody off because they're so used to doing this 3-3 thing. Goats, actually, you know what I mean. When they play teams that are playing the meta, they look great.
Yes.
Yeah, like Eileen is fantastic. They're just, once they get everything together, I think they're going to be surprising a lot of teams. But they definitely deserve to move up. I mean, I had them a little low because the Chengdu thing is still hanging in the back of my head, but I don't know what to think of that team.
I think honestly for that was just like jitters of being the first team, first game and all that. Like,
yeah, I'm going to go with that too. That's a great way to put it. It was jitters and the things that we expected every team to have last week. That, like Hangzhou, who did the opposite.
Right. That's kind of what I got out of that one, and really what solidified it was the way that they played Vancouver, and then the way that Vancouver played on Sunday night against San Francisco. Just shows me how good Vancouver is, and the fact that Guangzhou hung with them as well as they did. Yeah, that moves them up quite a bit for me.
You got me buying into Gatorade Frost. So,
yes. Oh God.
Yeah, but honestly, they're fun to watch too.
They really are. Their combination of tanks has been really good. This has been a phenomenal fit for Hotba. I'm super happy for him.
Yeah, so am I, because he can flex onto that DPS stuff, and he's a beast on Tracer. And
he is.
He's been, and we said it before the year started too, that he's a key component of that team that people are kind of overlooking. But yeah, they look great, and they deserve to be up higher than I had them. I'll give you that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Power Rankings for this week. Thanks a lot for joining us. As always, we appreciate all of your views, all the times you listen to us on the various podcasts, whatever your podcatcher thing is. If you listen to us on iTunes or SoundCloud or Spotify or wherever else you guys are picking us up, thanks a lot. And if, as always, please comment down below. Tell us what you think of our top 20. We love the conversation. And we will hit you later on in the week with some picks and our fantasy stuff. And we will talk to you later. Catch you on the next one.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.